The Reserve Bank has lifted the cash rate and banks are following suit. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because yesterday the Reserve Bank lifted our cash rate, everyone. I'm having to update this chart every month. There you go. We're heading straight up. And remember, 3% used to be considered an emergency rate, so maybe, just maybe, we might start to see some normal interest rates. Or the economy will start to get into trouble, and then they'll have to drop us right back down again and continue this fun show that's going on. So banks have already started raising rates. We can see the Commonwealth Bank. Here we go. Owner-occupier standard variable home loan rates are up 0.5%, so they've matched the 50 basis point increase from the RBA, and they're now at 5.8%. You've got investor principal, an interest standard variable up 50 basis points to 6.38. Owner-occupier interest only up to 6.29. Investor interest only up to 6.64. And if we have a look here, deposits are up. So goal saver bonus increased by 50 basis points to 1.25%. So you're almost getting the cash rate there on that goal saver. You've got youth saver 1.45, a 15-month term deposit and 2.5%. So they are lifting the savings rates, but, well, mortgages are getting more expensive. Let's bring out the old Excel here, everyone, and we'll just check out some of these numbers. So let's say, notice I've updated this with all of the median prices, mortgage prices with different cities. So let's say we're going up to, 6.38. 6.38. And hang on. Oh, well, no, we'll do 5.8, an owner-occupier. That's what most people are worried about. So you're going from 5.3 up to that. Say you've got a $400,000 mortgage, and you can see that's a 5.6% increase in your mortgage repayment, so your service costs. But $400,000 is nowhere, guys. It's nothing. Let's have a look. We'll make this New South Wales to see what the actual difference is. So in New South Wales, if you've got the average mortgage, now that's average, not the median, average, so it's going to be, pulled all over the place a little bit, but you're looking at $247 extra a week. A month. A month people will have to find on this mortgage if they've still got 30 years to play out. If we go, let's look at, my city, Queensland, 527, you're looking at $165. So a 5% increase. Over a month, that should be manageable, hopefully, by a lot of people, but these costs are starting to add up. And what if you're like me? You come off from a 1.99 and you go to this, because we're talking here variable, guys, variable rates. You're looking at a 58% increase for your mortgage repayments. So this is what we all need to prepare for. This is what's coming. No one should be surprised if you're watching the channel. So let's have a look at this. Let's see the statement from our Reserve Bank governor. So, at its meeting yesterday, the board decided to increase the cash rate target by 50 basis points to 1.35%. It also increased the interest rate on exchange settlement balances by 50 basis points to 1.25. Global inflation is high. It is being boosted by COVID-related disruptions to supply chains, the war in Ukraine, and strong demand, which is putting pressure on productivity capacity. Monetary policy globally is responding to this higher inflation, although it will be some time yet before inflation returns to target in most countries. Inflation in Australia is also high, but not as high as in many other countries. Global factors account for much of this increase in inflation in Australia, but domestic factors are also playing a role. Strong demand, a tight labour market, and capacity constraints in some sectors are contributing to the upward pressure on prices. The floods are also affecting some prices, and that's just gotten worse, everyone. Inflation is forecast to peak later this year and then decline back towards 2 to 3% range next year, as global supply-side problems continue to ease and higher commodity prices stabilise, even if at a high level inflation is expected to moderate. Higher interest rates will also help establish a more sustainable balance between the demand for and supply of goods and services. Medium-term inflation expectations remain well anchored, and it is important that this remains the case. A full set of updated forecasts will be published next month following the release of the June CPI. The Australian economy remains resilient and the labour market is tighter than it has been for some time. The unemployment rate was steady at 3.9% in May, the lowest rate in almost 50 years. Underemployment has also fallen significantly. Job vacancies and job ads are both at very high levels, and a further decline in unemployment and underemployment is expected over the months ahead. The bank's business liaison program and business surveys continue to point to a lift in wages growth and the low rate of recent years as firms compete for staff in a tight labour market. One source of ongoing uncertainty about the economic outlook is the behaviour of household spending. The recent spending data have been positive, although household budgets are under pressure from higher prices and higher interest rates. Housing prices have also declined in some markets over recent months after the large increases of recent years. Household saving rates remain higher than it was before the pandemic, and many households have built up large financial buffers and are benefiting from stronger income growth. Now, we're seeing two stories here. We're seeing, houses with large financial buffers claimed by the RBA, and we can see, the liquidity buffers that they have here. And many people saved a lot of money. But then we're also seeing articles about people going to food banks. So which one is it? I mean, you're going to have people that are always going to go to these food banks and always going to be desperate and always going to be in a mess. Are they the ones that have taken on the huge loans? There's the question. When we start seeing young families turn up, then maybe we need to keep an eye on it because the media is going to play it up. They're going to play it up, guys. The board will also be paying close attention to the global outlook, which remains clouded by the war in Ukraine and its effect on the prices of energy and agricultural commodities. Real household incomes are under pressure in many economies and financial conditions are tightening as central banks increase rates. There's also ongoing uncertainties related to COVID, especially in China. I've got another article that's on the list to go through. I've got to dig it out, where China is starting a, $75 billion capital infrastructure program to help kickstart their economy. Now, what happened to Australia the last time they did something like that? Now, I know they're not fans of Australia, and we saw all the news articles warning us about China going to cut Australia off, but none of it's really happened. It's all just rhetoric. We'll have to see. Could Australia be saved again by China? Maybe. Today's increase in interest rates is a further step in the withdrawal of the extraordinary monetary support that was put in place to help ensure the Australian economy against the worst possible effects of the pandemic. The resilience of the economy and the higher inflation mean that this extraordinary support is no longer needed. The board expects to take further steps in the process of normalising monetary conditions in Australia over the months ahead. The size and timing of future interest rate increases will be guided by the incoming data and the board's assessment of the outlook for inflation and the labour market. The board is committed to doing what is necessary to ensure inflation in Australia returns to a target over time. So, let's have a talk about this one, guys. So they're committed. They're committed to getting inflation under control. Let's see what happens. Honestly, are you confident that they'll do that? Or if we start to see a recession creep by, they may drop rates. But if demand for natural resources picks up, that's a big chunk of our economy, a big portion of our exports. If there's more demand for that, hey, we may get a repeat of the GFC. Because you're kidding yourself if you think it was the building education revolution alone and the fat bats that killed people that saved us from that. Not really. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. I can't imagine anyone is surprised at this rate rise. Do you think they'll keep rising interest rates? Or are we going to see some backing off if there's some negative economic news? This is the problem. They're working on some data quarterly cycles. So, the horse is already bolted by the time they decide to make some decisions. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support the content I create, here there are a few ways you can help out. You can financially support us via YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy our pocket squares or merch. Contact us if you need an architect. That's pretty much it. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And I will see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. And the rain seems to have quietened up here, but I still have a whole bunch of holes I got to pump out again. That's fun and games. Take care, everyone. I'll see you later.